Hello everyone, welcome back to the Girl Math Podcast. I'm your host Kori Blonde. I'm joined with Pickle today, and we're going to be diving into your dating dilemmas. I've got you guys to send in your current dating dilemmas, and trust me when I say I've had hundreds in. So I have tried my best to filter them down, and I can't obviously answer to everyone, but as the podcast progresses, I will be diving into more as we go along. Would you believe that it's taken me 4 times to film this episode? Four times. This is the 5th time. It's either been audio, visual, or battery dying, or something wrong with my laptop. So here we are. I hope you guys appreciate this. Let's dive in. So a few months ago, I was dating this guy, and at first it seemed amazing. He said, "I love you" 2 days into knowing me. He met my family a week after meeting me and said when we hit 3 months, he's going to propose and buy a house. After a week, he started getting mad at me over the smallest things. He got upset because I fist bumped his friend and even told me off for wearing shorts when it was 30 degrees heat. If I didn't reply to him within 20 minutes, he acted like I was ignoring him. He messaged my sister asking to come over and see my niece. Then he texted me saying, "I'm downstairs. Are you going to come see me?" Whoa. This is a love bomber, guys. We have a love bomber on our hands, and I know that you guys love this topic because a lot of you thought that dog walking guy was love bombing me. The question is, how can we spot love bombing before it becomes manipulation? Well, a love bomber will bomb you with love. Initially, they will give you so many compliments and you will feel like on top of the world. Saying "I love you" after 2 days is wild work. You don't even know my favorite color. You don't even know what I do for a living. You don't even know what oxygen I breathe. So why are you saying you love me? That's wild. Number 2, telling you what to wear when it's 30 degrees heat. Okay, this man is insecure. This man has an ego issue and this man needs to be sectioned. So what I would do is I would run away, I would block him, and I would also delete all socials and get all your family to delete his fucking number. This is trauma disguised as romance. Messaging your family, okay, so the reason I say this could be a narcissist that we're dealing with here is because a narcissist will try and isolate you and make sure that he contacts all of your family, your friends, that they're on his side, and when shit hits the fan, they're already there. He's already planted the seeds, and I just worry because with men like this, it's so evident that you will fall into that trap. Love shouldn't come with urgency and guilt. So the fact that this man says that he loves you isn't actually real, because you can't possibly love someone after 2 days of knowing them. It's just not possible. I mean, there is such thing as love at first sight where you kind of like go head over heels for a guy, but it's different. You know, love is slow. It's a slow burn. It's something that you learn as you get to know someone. I don't like the terms "I love you" being just thrown around like that, especially coming from a guy that has now love bombed you essentially and now saying you can't wear certain things, getting mad at you because you haven't seen him because you're unwell. And boundaries that feel unsafe early will break you in the long run. This is also something you need to consider because you have kind of set a boundary here. You've said, "No, I'm unwell. Please don't see me. I'm going to make you unwell if you're not careful." And then he got mad and he had to see your sister. There's definitely themes of emotional manipulation here, and I would run as fast as you can away from this man. That would just be my genuine response to that. Number 2, he moved her in before I moved out. Last year, I was dumped by my boyfriend of 4 years and quickly replaced by his work colleague that I didn't have to worry about. I didn't even get to move out properly before she started sleeping there, in our apartment. It's been really traumatic, and now I feel like I'm not sad anymore. I can't even connect with anyone. Even if they're perfect, I can't feel anything. It's like my brain won't let me get attached anymore. Okay, I'm sorry this has happened to you, first and foremost, because this is a horrible thing to go through. I think it's probably one of the most traumatic forms of betrayal that a man can put you through. When you've been with a guy for 4 years, that's a long time, okay? That's a long time. You're thinking of marriage, you're thinking of proposing, you're thinking of moving out into a house. Like, this is a trauma response, okay? So I feel like you're kind of in a dissociative state, correct me if I'm wrong. And my advice to you would be very selfish and learn more about yourself again. It's more so learn to love yourself again, but I know that that's such a cliche piece of advice. But all it is I think you need to learn what you like again, learn what you love again. So what I did is I joined a heels dance class every Monday when I broke up with a guy like this. And each week I would feel empowered. I'd make new friends. I would find a hobby that wasn't even related to anything that I was doing when I was with the guy. I think what's super important is that now you've kind of moved out of that apartment, it's actually going to help you heal at a better, faster, quicker rate. So story time. I was dating a guy for almost 4 years and we lived together. We had a cat, 2 dogs together. We viewed this house together. 2 weeks after we viewed this house together, I had showed all my friends, I'd put it on my story. I was so gassed, like I was ready to propose and settle down with this guy, basically. He sat me down 2 weeks after this house viewing and then said, I'm moving across the world and I'm breaking up with you, essentially. And 2 weeks after that, he moved and he got a girlfriend. Bear in mind, this man had been going on work trips to this country for a good year. So I can only imagine that he'd already met this girl before he broke up with me, because it was probably about a month before this house viewing that he was in this country. And obviously I was never there. And he was hanging out with a load of people, going out all the time. And I can only, God forbid, imagine that he'd met that girl before. And it was more so the feeling of betrayal, where it's like, how can you, a man who has been with me for 4 years, live with me, have pets with me, I've sacrificed absolutely everything, I have your name tattooed, okay, you know all of this, and yet you can just leave and move on so quickly after wanting to move into a house with me? That's weird. You're going to make yourself spiral into oblivion if you keep asking yourself, why has he done this? You're never going to know. You're never going to understand. You're never going to relate, because you would never do that yourself. So I would stop asking why and start seeing, how am I going to learn to love myself again? That's what you need to ask. And in terms of like not being able to feel anything, you just got to ride that one out. I think, like, for me, I just had to ride that out. And I think I made mistakes along the way. Like, I definitely didn't treat people the way I should have, like during that time, because I just was so, I guess, in shock and emotionally numb as well. Like, I was just like, oh. But I was in a very similar situation where I couldn't feel anything. And even like, I would look at an attractive guy, for instance, and like I can see he was attractive, but I was like, I'm not actually attracted to you. Does that make me gay? Like, I genuinely thought I was gay for the last year until I met dog walking guy. I was seeing people here and there as well, but I just didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything for my friends or emotions, or like even guys I was dating. And I actually had to be quite selfish. So your brain is like the logical part and your heart is the emotional part. Your brain is kind of trying to connect your heart by saying, I'm protecting you. I'm going to put this wall up now and I am not going to let anyone in. I'm going to protect us from what hell's just happened there. And I don't want to feel that ever again. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make sure that I don't feel anything. So that's what your brain's doing. And that, don't be alarmed. Like, that's normal. You're in survival mode. So just give yourself some grace. It's a form of grief. You know, you're not cold. You're not cold-hearted. For the longest time, people were like to me, Kori, you're so cold-hearted. I don't know how you could just not feel anything. I'm like, well, I'm just numb, to be honest with you. And that's possibly one of the worst feelings, because you just want to feel. And it's the worst because it's like, you know, when you just want to cry, but you can't cry and you just feel numb. And it's like almost worse than the feeling of emotion. But then again, I guess you could argue that being numb is an emotion. But anyway, you can't love from a place that isn't healed. And that goes for you, that goes for anyone else. This man can't be alone for 2 minutes. This man can't be alone. The fact that this man was seeing someone else before you could even move out the flat is wild. It's just classic. I don't want to throw this around again, but that's classic narcissist. A lot of narcissists can't be alone. And unfortunately, you have to look at it with empathy and be like, I feel bad for you, because you will always be like that. Because the fact that you can't ever be alone means that you won't ever be alone to heal yourself and learn about yourself and grow and reflect. So that man will only ever meet someone as far as he's met himself, which isn't very far. So I honestly wouldn't worry. This man has had the privilege of knowing you, not for just a day, for 4 years. So if this man ever comes running back, you need to let yourself meet someone new. You need to let someone else new in when you're ready, because this man had the privilege of knowing you for 4 years. When someone has the privilege of knowing you for a certain amount of time, you need to give yourself grace and let yourself heal to realize, damn, I need to move on. I need to let someone else in and have the privilege of knowing me, because it's a privilege to know me. And you fucked up, so you don't ever get a second chance. You had the privilege to know me, and yet you still chose to walk away. You still chose someone else. Right, this next one, I have been back and forth with this girl for over a week. So she sent me a bunch of voice notes, and she also sent me a long text, which I will read aloud. But essentially, the story has developed. I met this boy on a night out and we instantly clicked. I've never felt that with anyone. We've been dating for about a month and it got serious quickly. Last week he went quiet. I confronted him and he said he was busy. Then in person he was so apologetic and loving again. But I spiral between seeing him. I hate it because I like him so much. So essentially what this girl was trying to tell me is, you know, when you kind of see someone and you instantly click and you've got this great connection and it's like, oh my God, this is it. This is my soulmate. This is my soulmate. And then they go cold. I feel like we've always all had that one guy that you speak to in person and it's fine, and then over text. My life motto with men like that is always like, if you're confused, it's a no. He doesn't like you as much as you think he does, because I think you always, when you're talking to a guy and it's a situationship, or any guy really, you start speaking to them, but you like them as much as you can perceive them and perceive yourself. Everything is a reflection of you. So the amount that you like a guy is actually the amount you like yourself, and you like the potential. It just shows how much love you have to give, because I was so deluded with the guy that I was talking to like that. And I was like, oh my God, like we get on so well, and like he's so lovely, and like he's got so much potential. But he didn't even reach his potential yet. Like, it wasn't like dog walking guy where he was actively showing me. Do you know what I mean? Actively taking me out. This guy would take me on 2 dates throughout the whole time. The rest of the time, like, we were just seeing each other. So I guess that's one thing to look out for. Like, is this guy taking you out? Are we doing things? Are we doing things outside the bedroom? Are we having fun together? Like, is it mutual respect here? But the inconsistency in hot and cold behavior is something you have to be wary of, I think, when you're talking to men, because I think if a man shows up consistently, he likes you, he wants to wife you. If he doesn't, I don't actually believe anyone is too busy. Like, I don't like the excuse of you're too busy, because I'm busy and I make the time. I would schedule things out my day. If I care enough, I'm going to make the time. If dog walking guy cares enough, he makes the time. This man has a full-time business. This man has football 4 times a week. He has his own social life. He goes to the gym. He feeds his donkeys. Like, there's so many things about this guy. And I'm like, this man is so busy, but he'll still make the time. So I don't actually believe in that someone's too busy. You know what I mean? You can have bad days. You can have down days. You can have one-off days, you know, but I just don't believe that men are too busy. It's never a good sign when you're with someone or seeing someone and it's great in person and shit when you're not with them. Because, quick story time, I was seeing this guy once and we were seeing each other for 2 months. This guy led me on like a motherfucker. We got on so well. I was like, oh my God, this is my husband. This is like my best friend and a husband combined. And we wanted the same things. We aligned, but this man was emotionally unavailable. So maybe this was it. But I essentially, after 1 month, was like, hey, I like you. I'd like to see where things go. And he was like, I like you too. Basically what he was trying to say is like, he's just not very emotional. And I was like, okay. So I pulled back for like a week. He noticed that I'd pulled back for a week. Then after a week, he messaged me to say, can I meet you? And I was like, okay. I met up with this guy, and he said to me, he sat me down, he was like, I can tell you've been distant. And I'm like, yeah, because you literally told me you were basically emotionally unavailable, so why would I pursue you even further? And he said, well, when you're with me, it's fine. You realize it's fine, right? And that's just you overthinking when you're not with me. And silly little me was like, haha, yeah, you know what? You're so right. You reassure me in person. But then when you're not with me, it's like, kill me. But, you know, can't deny our connection. It's great. So clearly we have something. Anyway, cut a very long story short. I was still skeptical. I was like, yeah, but you know, could block you tomorrow, haha, lol, teehee, as a joke. And he was like, no, don't do that, Kori. I really want you. Like, I really want to see where things go. And I was like, fine. You know what? I'll give this man a chance. I'll give this man a chance and see where things go. He only fooled me. He only fooled me because give it another month. We were seeing each other. We had a great time. We're texting one day. And I'm jokingly like, haha, you don't want to get to know me anymore. And he's like, why is that? And I'm like, because I get a bit obsessed. So clearly this man already knew I liked him. This man knows, like, I'm jokingly saying I'm obsessed, but you should get my humor by now. Like, I was joking. And I think I got my guy mate's opinion on this, and he said that the guy that I was seeing found that as an easy way out, as like an excuse. Because what he replied to this message was wild. He said, yeah, can't lie, don't think I want that. Sounds quite intense. So I then replied, fair enough, let's park it here then. Bear in mind, all these messages, like, he was taking like days to respond in between, and he went from messaging me every day to messaging me every couple days. And get this, he never even opened that message. Like, he never opened that message. So you're telling me, just because I said I get a bit obsessed as a joke, you use that as an excuse to be like, okay, I'm going to step away now. Bear in mind, before I sent him this text, I noticed something was off as well, because he changed his profile picture to like a half naked one on Instagram, and also changed his whole Hinge profile to like slutty images. And I was like, this man is a fuck boy. Okay, I don't want to fuck with him anymore. So that was after that. So my assumption is only that he used that as an excuse to just dip, and he was seeing someone else, dating someone else, which is weird because he told me he only wants one woman and he wants to see where things go with me, and that he could see something with me. So men just chat the most shit. Anyway, so that was that, and that was an example of me seeing someone in person but spiraling over text, because this man was the coldest person on text as well. Anyway, men will always choose the easiest way out. So this girl then comes to me the next day and she goes, Kori, he lied to me. He wasn't busy with work. I found out he was on a fishing trip with his friends. And she was like, it wasn't the fact that he didn't see me. It was the fact that he lied to me. That's what got to me the most. I'm not having it, Kori. And I said, you know what? What are you going to do? She goes, I'm going to end it. And okay, cool. I say, don't do it right now. Just wait a couple days, because you're going to lash out and you're not going to be in a good headspace. So give it a couple days, then have that conversation with him, because he's clearly not texting you or he's airing you. So why don't you just take a step back? She said, yeah, good, cool. I'll do that. The next day rolls around. He then confesses his love to her, sends this massive paragraph, asks to meet her at 1 a.m, sits her down and goes, I really want to try with you. And essentially just tells her all this stuff. She then says, okay, I'll give you another chance, but this is your last chance. So she's now given this guy a chance. I don't have any updates on it, but all I know is that she's given this guy a chance now, which was me, and that was my position. She's now in the position that I was in before I got my heart broken by this situationship. So all I'll say to that is you might have to find out yourself. You might have to learn for yourself, unless he's really going to change things, but men don't change. So, okay, next one. He's nice, but he's not him. Girl, I have a feeling I might relate. I've been talking to this guy for 3 weeks. We met for the first time the other day, but it felt weird, almost like it was more lust than love. But he's really kind and in a way more normal online. He asked me to be his girlfriend and I said yes, but I'm actually having doubts now. I don't know whether or not I actually want to or should be in a relationship. Right. Okay, let's unpack this. After 3 weeks, this man's asked you to be your girlfriend. Let's just sit with that for a second. It's the 3-month rule, not the 3-week rule. What is this man on, for one? Number two, if you're questioning, if you're having doubts, you're not ready. You need to have that chat with him and say, I don't want this. You know what? I've had to think about it. I don't want it. Because the worst thing you don't want it to be a sticky situation. You do not, which is what it will end up being if you're not clear and set boundaries. So the way I would approach this is I would go, hey, so I've had a think and I feel like we rushed the decision. I don't think I should be your girlfriend yet. I mean, I'm happy to kind of continue and see where things go, but I just think labeling things right now is a bit too soon. I don't really know you and you don't really know me enough right now. That's how I would put it. And if he comes back like, yeah, that's fine. We can take things slow. Maybe I was a bit fast with it. Absolutely fine. If he comes back and he's like, no, it's all or nothing, you're gonna have to run away, right? I've had a very similar situation. Another story time. Here we go. I was seeing this guy. We ended up being like boyfriend and girlfriend for like, I think a max 3 months. Really. Like it wasn't really, I don't really count it to be honest, because I tried to warn this man, I think about 5 times. I'd recently got out of a relationship. This guy and I got on. We had very similar goals, aspirations, like we wanted the same things out of life and we got along really well. We were talking for a month. This guy asked me to be his girlfriend in his car. Okay. We were driving and he asked me in his car and I was like, back up against the wall. I don't know. I'm in a confined space right now. I'm going to just have to say yes. I don't know how to say no. I'm a people pleaser, okay? So best believe I said yes. But the first thing I said to him was, how long have we known each other? How long have we been going out? And he was like, oh, a month? And I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, no. And then he tried to like pull the sad card on me. And I was like, oh God, I feel really bad. And then I had to say yes, because I didn't want to say no. Anyway, 2 weeks after that rolls around, I sit him down. I go, hey, you know, when you asked me to be your girlfriend, I don't think I can live up to that right now. You know, I've just come out of something pretty serious and I don't really want to continue this as a girlfriend. I just don't think I can like live up to what you want from me and I don't think it's very fair. So I want to get to know you. I really like you, but I just don't think I can live up to that. And he said, what, so you want to take the label off? I said, yeah. I said, okay, that's a bit weird. Like, why is that? And I obviously explained, I literally told you. And he just didn't understand. He just thought I wanted to like see other people, which wasn't the case. And then we continue seeing each other like exclusively. And then 2 weeks after that conversation, he then goes, I want all or nothing, Kori. I don't want to, like, he had another conversation with me in the car, okay? In the car. For some reason, he loves these conversations in the car. It's almost like, these men know that you can't escape. You're in their control. So it's like he's like, you have to say yes. Anyway, we were in his car and he said, so I don't actually like the fact that we're not anything. Like, it's all or nothing, Kori. I want to be with you or we're not. And we had a holiday booked, bear this in mind. Like, we'd booked it before. And I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we're just gonna have to we're just gonna have to see it, because I don't want to lose you. Like, I was selfish in this. Like, I was like, I don't want to lose you. We've got a holiday booked. Like, why not? Like, we're basically boyfriend girlfriend, we're exclusive. Why not? Should have listened to myself in the first place. Because during the holiday, halfway through, I sat him down. I was like, I can't lie to myself anymore. I can't lie to you. I'm really not feeling this. Like, I just don't think I can be your girlfriend. Like, I really don't. I don't think I'm ready. And he's like, what do you mean we're on holiday? Like, why would you say this? Like, why can't we just pretend to be fine and then at home we can sort it out? And I'm like, I can't fake it. Like, I just can't fake it. So yeah, that happened. And it was really awkward for the rest of the trip because obviously we were broken up. But yeah, it didn't end very well, that one. But that's why I mean, you don't really want to get yourself into a sticky situation, because I look back at that and I'm like, I think we were both selfish in that aspect. I was definitely selfish because I wanted to keep him around. Obviously, I liked him. Like, I want to keep you around. And he liked me. But I think we both didn't really respect each other's boundaries. And I was in a very, like, weird headspace anyway, just coming out of a relationship. So, you know, I wasn't ready for anything at all and should have kind of stood my ground a bit more, I think. But anyway, that's what I mean. I think you don't want to get to that point where it's just a bit sticky and it gets confusing and it doesn't end well, because you don't want that. So I would have this conversation and stand on business straight away. Like, don't be like me where you're like, oh no, I don't want this. And then he's like, oh, what do you mean? Starts sob-storing, starts crying, and you're like, oh, damn. You know what? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You know, we can stay together. So yeah, just try and stick to your guns with that. But I feel like you may need to reflect upon yourself a little bit here. Not to say you're the problem at all, but I think you have more power than you realise by saying no. And it's a very powerful tool to be able to say no. And it's very hard to do so. But once you do it, it's very rewarding. You should always fall in love with closed doors. I love the fact that I can close a door. I get excited, in fact, when doors close, because I'm like, damn, something good's about to happen to me. Like, something more aligned to myself is going to happen. The worst thing you want for yourself is to not be aligned. You never want to not be aligned with yourself, because that will just lead you down paths that is depressing, sad, and unfulfilling. Okay, wild card moment. This girl sent in on the group chat on Instagram something crazy, okay? And it's got no context. I found Polaroids of him fucking another girl on his car bonnet. Sorry? Sorry, wait. That is crazy work. One, he's just been caught in 4K framed. That's wild. I would go straight. Do you know what I would do? Do you know what I would do, actually? I would go straight to a printing shop, print that out on a t-shirt, and wear that the next time I see him. There is no way in hell that I am letting him get away with that. In fact, I will go to a printing shop and I will post it. I will make sure that everything's on a poster, and I will post it in the mail. I will post it to his mum, and I will be like, this is your son. Kind regards, your son. Like, this is what I would do. There are so many smart ways you can go about this. If this man has cheated on you with a girl, with a Polaroid? Okay, wait, a Polaroid? That's kind of crazy. This man has gone to the efforts of getting a Polaroid and, like, posing on his car bonnet with this girl. That's weird. That's icky. Is that not an ick? Like, be for real. Forget gut instinct. That is proof. That is photo evidence. You don't need any more, girl. You got to run away. If someone can cheat on you like it's a photo shoot, they don't even care if you find out at that point. They don't care. They just don't. So you need to run as far as you bloody can. That's a 7 out of 5 in terms of red flags. Ooh, been on and off for 8 months. We act like we're dating when we're together, but never had the talk. Should I have the talk? Yes, you should damn well have the talk. If it's been 8 months and you still don't know, you're still not, this man doesn't want anything serious with you. I can already tell. It's been 8 months. This man doesn't want anything. If he wanted something, he would have already done something about it. I think the man has to initiate. It shouldn't be up to you to initiate, but sure, do it. Do it for your own peace of mind. But trust me when I say, if you're still confused after the conversation, you need to end it. You're going to just hurt yourself, and it's going to be a continuous cycle. I was seeing this guy on and off for 7 years, and I felt like this man was the one, okay? In between all of my relationships, we would always find our way back to each other. And for some fucked up reason, I love nonchalant men, and he was like the most nonchalant guy. And the last time I actually saw him, he was like, oh, I really want to make things like proper with you, all this stuff. But it never ended up going anywhere 7 years after, even when we did have that chat. So you don't want to be in your entanglement for too long, because there is those types of men that you are just, you do see for a long period of time. I hate those people that can't leave. It's annoying. It's so annoying. Even like a couple months ago, this man popped up on my Hinge. I was like, oh my God, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Okay, you know if I press like back, I will come running back. You know that. Okay, so respectfully, leave me alone. I think that's the best portal call here. Going on a third date with a man from Hinge. In my own head about being burned by 2 previous relationships, nervous to let someone in. Now, I don't know if it's the case of like, it depends on your situation, okay? But if you've been burnt before, you should never really let that hinder your new experiences. As I said earlier, people have had the privilege of knowing you before. You need to now, when you're ready, be able to let someone in and treat you well. There are men out there that will treat you well. Dog walking guy is a good example. So it's hard, but you just have to kind of realize, damn, this is a new experience. This is a new guy completely. Like, it's not going to be like it was, but it's normal because your brain is just trying to protect you again. Got told after being together for 2 months that he was, quote, wasn't ready for a relationship. Now single. Right. This just takes me back to that guy I was talking to you about, the situationship entanglement thing for 2 months. Like, men will waste your motherfucking time. This is what's actually scary. I do say, like, don't let burnt relationships hinder you, but trust the fuck. Oh my God. It's confusing, right? It's so confusing because men will make you feel like the only girl in the world sometimes. They'll make you feel like they want to get to know you and that they're obsessed with you. And then next thing you know, they're fucking other bitches. They're gone. They want to be single. They don't want anything. It's almost like, I think a lot of it is these men have commitment issues and they just don't want to commit. And it's just sad because from the age of like 18 to 25, you have these group of men that just aren't emotionally mature yet. And it's annoying because when you're 18 to 25, you already know. You kind of already know what you want. And, you're ready to kind of just meet someone seriously. And these boys almost like prey on the fact that you want that and will use that to their own advantage. I really struggle to let men in on like how I feel, because the minute they know how I feel or how I've been treated in the past, they use that to their own advantage. So I never now tell a man how I've been treated before. For all they know, I've been treated amazingly because you should damn well treat me amazingly. The bar is already high here. Like on my first dates, I never go, oh, woe is me, I've been treated like X by this man. Maybe eventually later down the line, yes, because it will make a lot of sense to a lot of things. But it's like, for now, you need to know how to treat me. The bar is here, So I don't know where I was going with that, but it's just really important to not let a man know the ins and outs straight away. It's use it to your own advantage, really. This man's just met you. You can make him believe anything, in the least manipulative way, but also manipulative way. For all you know, for all he knows, you could just be like, yeah, I'm only used to 6-figure men. Like, I only date men that earn 6 figures or above. So if you don't, simply leave. Or if you don't think you can, I don't think you can meet my needs. And I think that's super important, actually, when you're dating, to have that initial conversation of what you need and what you want. If you can't have that conversation, even on the first date, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your emotional time because you don't want to get emotionally invested to a guy when you don't even know what he wants or how he can meet your needs. You need to set expectations from the get-go. Otherwise, you are just going to be faced with disappointment. And I guess that's why, people always sit down and be like, how many kids do you want? What? Like, for me, that may be a bit intense. Like, for the first time you meet me, how many kids do you want is a bit of a wild question. Are you going to push them out, Darren? No, didn't think so. You want 10 kids? You want a football team? Okay, get a surrogate then. Are you going to be earning 6 figures? Didn't think so. So move on. You don't want 10 kids. Respectfully. So that is a good question, to be fair. Actually, yeah, I think you should always ask the hard questions originally, because you will find out loads about a person. And if a man gets scared, if you're asking the hard questions originally, this man isn't serious. Like, you can just tell a lot by asking these questions and just being confident enough. I think on the first date, a lot of people ask me about like first dates, like what should I do? How should I act? What should I wear? Be yourself for one, but also if you're confident, he's not going to know a thing. He's not going to know any different. If you walk in, shoulders back, head high, this is what I want, this is what I expect, that man is going to be on his hands and knees. He's going to put you on a pedestal already from the get-go. So, this man doesn't know anything about you, so you can just do anything, You could work for MI5 for all he knows. Anyway, I hope this has helped. I'm definitely going to be making more of these episodes in the coming future. Make sure you're subscribed to the Girl Math Podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, hello. It's been lovely speaking to you. If you're on your commute to work, on your way home, on TV, if you're watching me on your TV, make sure you repost me. I just post, so you could post me on your TV, or make an edit of me. Oh my god, if you guys can like go to my old videos and make an edit of me, I would actually love you forever. My dream is to have an edit of myself on TikTok. Anyway, with that being said, make sure you girls are following my Instagram at Kori Blonde and the at Girl Math Podcast on Instagram for more updates, and join the girls group, because Dog Walking Guy does not know about this girls group, nor does he have any interest, because it's just for girls. So it's just our little secret, okay? So make sure you're joined, and yeah, keep in tune for the updates, because I'm also going to be hosting some little girly events. We're going to go on some dates, us girls. So keep your eyes peeled on the girls group chat, because I've got some really exciting news coming. With that being said, thank you girls for watching. We have had Pickles in the room. Pickles, you want to say bye? She's tired. I need to take her out. But it's been lovely speaking with you, and I will chat to you later. Goodbye.